I believe that the fires we're cast upon on the flames we shall become. I believe in a common calling where our temples pray as one. I believe in the word of wonder and a kingdom for the saved.
Larry Pollock here with Luke Carroll and Hella Trevino. Leo is traveling in Canada, I believe, right now, so he's not going to make it today. But we got a bunch of exciting things to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about something that's not immediate, but it's coming up, and that's the announcement that Nick Walker is competing in the Tampa Pro, and he'll be going against Joe Palacios. So they're framing this as the battle of the mass monsters. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we got this weekend is Toronto Pro coming up. So we're going to review that. But before we get into all that, go up over a few things. Last night I went to the ER, actually yesterday afternoon, for a kidney stone again. I had it a year and a half ago, and I passed one yesterday, and I felt it coming on. So last time I had it.
What do they do about kidney stones? Do they shoot them, or what they do?
So the last time I had it, I guess I had it was the first time I ever had it in my life. I guess it was super big, and it was blocking my urethra, so piss couldn't get out. And I woke up in the morning with a stomach ache, and within 1 hour, I was like in excruciating pain. I felt like I got shot.
Oof.
And I never called 911 in my life, but I called 911 because I thought I was dying or something.
Wow.
The ambulance, they actually gave me fentanyl in the ambulance. By the time I got to the ER, I was like going into shock.
Jesus.
And
holy crap.
The doctor was yelling at me, what did you take? What did you take? And I couldn't even talk because I was in so much pain. I'm like he was asking me if I was on drugs or something. My teeth were shattering. It was like I was freezing or something.
That was last time or this time?
The last time.
Oh.
So, yeah, because what happens is the stone blocked your piss coming out, and then it's just like building up. My stomach was like getting all distended.
Yeah.
Really fast. And anyways, so what they ended up doing is they put a stent in to let the piss come out. And then they went in with this tool. It's like a laser that breaks up the stone into little tiny pieces. And they got rid of it that way. So yesterday I started getting a stomach ache. And then I thought maybe, I don't know what it was. I was trying to go to the restroom and I couldn't go. And a little stone came out. And I was like, oh shit. My stomach started getting a little bit distended. And I was like, oh no, here we go. Because last time it was like within an hour, I was like, felt like I was going to die. So I actually was at the gym and I was about to train a client. And I just told him, look, I got to go to the ER right now. So I went there, and by mistake, I went to VCMC, which is stupid. It's a county hospital because it was the closest one. They sat me there for 3 hours before I even got seen.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
So I was in a lot of pain, but they ended up just giving me morphine, and I stayed there till like midnight, and it calmed down. I don't know what it went away by this morning. So, but I have 2 kidney stones in there. One 3 millimeter and one 4 millimeter that they saw on the what's it called, the CAT scan,
like ultrasound or okay.
CT scan. So
are you gonna have it like shot with that laser gun again?
That's what I thought, but this is VCMC, so they're just like, oh, you can pass these on your own. Just go home.
If they're small enough, they will just let you pass it, I guess.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
Today I feel fine. So hopefully they just come out and it doesn't cause another problem.
Man, I've heard that they're pretty painful. That's
Well,
terrible.
Fingers
the first one I
crossed.
had, like I said, I thought I felt like I got shot in the stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I never had one before that. But anyways, everything's good today.
Good to
I
hear.
went home, slept, and drank a bunch of fluid, and today everything seems normal. So
Did they already pass, or are they still just in there?
no, they're still one passed yesterday, and I have it. It's like a little rock,
Mm-hmm.
and the other two are in there, and
He kept it. You got to
They're
keep it
still
for
in it.
luck.
they're still in there. Yeah.
Maybe if you do that like inversion thing, it'll like fall to the top of your bladder, so it won't come.
Like
it's just
inversion
it's just
table.
floating in there. But if you're upright, it's gonna go down out your urethra.
Yeah.
Just do some handstands, Larry.
Yes.
Well, actually, I just
inverted.
I have an appointment with my gastroenterologist this afternoon, so I'm going to take the report in there and see what he has to say about it. That they'll probably just, like you said, they'll pass because they're small enough.
Well, good to hear you're better today.
We're going to get into the Toronto Pro, but before that, Luke just competed in the Cal Pro and in the Legion and did very well considering he hasn't competed in 8 years. Looked phenomenal.
I was pretty happy with my presentation. I mean, I did an 8.5 week prep, and then I got sick at 2.5, 3 weeks out, and I'm sure that definitely affected my look as well. So I was happy to be in the money, at a pro show. I mean, I was going up against Olympians, so I'm pretty happy with that. I see some things that I want to work on just for my own presentation on the stage, but I'm sliding back into an off season. I'll probably do these shows next year, maybe New York, Pittsburgh, because all those May shows are 1 week apart. New York, Pittsburgh, Cali, and Reno. So maybe not all 4 of them, but maybe 2 of them again. So,
But also, I think it gives you a really good basis to work on because you have, I mean, for 8 years, you haven't seen how your body looks like shredded. So I think often it's nice to do a few shows and kind of see, okay, I actually took an 8-year off as well, like at some point, and just see what's there, without the fat, without the water, and just kind of see like, okay.
We lost Hella.
Lost Hella. She'll probably log right back in.
He's not back on.
So we were talking about things that you need to work on. From actually, you compared very well to everybody else. The 2 different lineups were different. I think Hella's back.
Yeah, I got kicked out for some reason.
Sorry.
But
what were you saying?
Yeah, I was just saying now you can really focus on like building those weak points and like whatever you saw when you were really down. Like it can be like details, that you don't quite see when you're fluffy.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree on that. I haven't dieted in so long, so my body definitely responds differently to cardio and diet and drugs that it did 8 years ago. Because last time I competed was 2018. I was like 33, 34 years old. So now I'm 41. So stuff changes. I mean, it still works, but it's just maybe not quite as well as it did, almost a decade ago. And exactly what you said. I came down. I feel like maybe my quad sweep and my glutes, like I've never really trained glutes like too hard specifically. I kind of was like a byproduct of just squatting heavy and leg pressing heavy and stuff. So they kind of are like a weaker body part. And I think when you start to like really cut down in your calories and your cardio and stuff, your weaker body parts go away faster than your strong ones. My shoulder, my back didn't go anywhere, but those weaker ones kind of came down a little bit because I had big quads and legs before. I mean, they didn't get too small, but they just like not equal to the body, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So, sliding back into the off season, that's kind of one of the main things I want to work on is just overall adding on a little bit of size, specifically adding on glutes, hams, quads, adductors, kind of just,
so
revamp the program.
You got to get on the wellness program.
Yeah, basically that's kind of the plan, is to do the wellness, the booty queen workouts.
Nice.
I actually had the same thing going on for like the first 20 years that I trained and competed. I had really, really big quads and I had underdeveloped glutes and hamstrings. And the reason for it was that I squatted with a bodybuilder squat, which was a high bar with a feet pointed straight ahead and knees, about shoulder width, just like a Tom Platz bodybuilder squat. Mm-hmm. And so that's like all quads. So my quads were like huge. And I did every single leg curl there was. I would do like a whole separate hamstring training with just leg curls. And even though I did that, it was like they weren't growing. And I just thought I had a genetic like thing that my hamstrings didn't grow. And then I went and trained with these power lifters, and he had me open up my stance to a really wide stance with my toes pointed out, and where I shifted the weight into my hips. And within 1 year, I grew glutes and hamstrings, and my squat went up like over 100 pounds. And it was just that I found out later when you train leg curls, it hits a specific part of the hamstring, but the bulk of the hamstring is underneath it, the mass of it, and it doesn't get hit very well with leg curls. You have to, because the weight's not heavy enough. The hamstrings are like a really big muscle. So think about a wide stance squat is just like a giant leg curl, except think about how much weight you're using compared to what you can do on a leg curl. I mean, I ended up squatting 820 pounds. And on leg curl, what can I do? Like 150 pounds for a few reps. So it's not even comparison.
I think also if you look at training, how it's developed over time, I think now men train glutes. Like when I started training, men never trained glutes because it was something like it was gay or whatever. But now
nobody did the adductor machine because it was a girl machine, huh?
Yeah. It's like you didn't really see that, but now it's like any muscle that you train consistently, it's not just the size, but also the quality of it. So if you really want to get those striation in your glutes, you need to have quality in the muscle. And I think just now that men are getting, it's not gay to train glutes. Like I know there's been a lot of jokes about it and stuff, but I'm like, it's a body part like everything else. And if you want to get your glutes really striated and a nice shape, you have to do something.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's one of the main things I want to do is just build the bigger glutes. So going into the off season, I know how to target them. I just like always, my quad sweep was a little bit down for years, and this just over the last probably 2 years, I really started like 2-3 years. I really started just like pushing my leg days more. I need actually more frequency on leg days because I can recover from like quite a bit. So I need like multiple leg days per week.
Right. Was it hard to recover and gain the mass back after the injury? I mean, I don't know even like how injured were you?
I was significant. I had 6 surgeries in 2 years.
Wow.
So I broke my arm. I got hit by a car and I broke my arm, and then I got MRSA. And so then it just kind of was like one surgery after the next to kind of get my arm back to where it is. And then I recovered. I was training heavy and I got fully back. And then I ruptured my left bicep. And so that took 2 surgeries to repair as well. And then that kind of set me back. And then now, kind of just like clawed back from there. But I would say when you do a significant injury, it's 12 months before you're back to where you were before the injury. It just takes time to do those surgeries, to do the recovery, and then it takes time to just rebuild rebuild your body back. So
yeah,
different injuries though are different. Like I tore my cruciate tendons in my knees, and I was back squatting heavy within a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
But I tore my rotator cuff in my shoulder, and that one took a year for me to like heal back to where I could actually train right.
Well, I was back training heavy, but the size comes back over
it takes time
to put the size back on when you do 4 surgeries. It took me I crashed on September 11th, and I didn't start training again until January. And now it's just like my training was just barely like so minuscule. And then by March I was like pretty significant, but then it still took me several months to get back to like my full thickness and size from there.
Right. But it takes longer just because you can't train like you normally could.
Yeah.
Like my shoulder it was like the longest recuperation. And then I hurt my other shoulder a couple of years back, and I didn't have surgery on it, but I used the BPC and TB500.
Mm-hmm.
And first I tried to use 250 micrograms, and that didn't work. And then I went up to 1,000, and that worked. And within like, I don't know, a month and a half, it was like healed.
Yeah, I think people that do low dose like that 250, I feel like that's too low for significant recovery healing.
I did that because that's what I was told to do, but
but I feel like that was like the technology 10 years ago, and now like just from experience, like I feel like whenever someone comes to me and like, oh, I tore a muscle or I did something, I'm like, get on like 1,000 a day, get on a 500 in the morning, 500 at night, and then like they're like, oh, the cost and stuff. I'm like, I mean, you could just take your time then, I guess, and not heal fast.
Well, it's not just not heal fast; it just doesn't even work.
Yeah,
like I was doing the 250 for the longest for months, and I wasn't seeing really anything coming from it. And when I went to 1,000, I did it all at one time though. I didn't break it up twice a day, but I did that. And like I said, like 6 weeks.
For how long? For how long did you do 1,000? So you did 1,000 TB and how much BCP?
Same, 1,000 of each.
Same. A day.
And it was like, no, I only did it on my training days, 4 days a week.
Okay.
And maybe it'd be better if I did it every day, but I don't like taking shots all the time. So
for how long did you run it?
I would say it was about 6 weeks before my shoulder was like, I could press heavy without any pain.
Right.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty fast healing from an injury.
Yeah, and I was thinking there was going to be another shoulder surgery because there was definitely something going on in there. It felt like something was torn.
Mm-hmm. Shoulders are hard because if it's the rotator and stuff in there, they really don't get much blood supply, so it heals slow.
Not only that, when I had my shoulder surgery on my right one, I had torn my rotator cuff, and I don't know if most people don't know what it looks like. It's like a sheath of tendons in a circle that goes around your whole shoulder. Mm-hmm. And I had a hole in it like the size of a silver dollar.
Oh, shit.
And there was just a big freaking ass hole. And actually, after I tore it, I kept training on it for like 2 more years.
Yeah.
Until I couldn't even lift a 10-pound dumbbell. Finally, I'm like, okay, I can't even press anything now.
Yeah.
And that's when I went for the surgery, and I didn't see it until then they did the surgery. They gave me pictures of it, and they showed me like the picture before it was fixed. And like I said, I had a hole like a silver dollar, and then they sewed it back together. They just literally stitched it back together. And that.
Do you know when you tore it, or was it just like accumulated over time?
No, I know when I tore. Some guy gave me a bad handoff on a reverse grip bench.
Yeah, you told me about that.
He like dropped it over my face instead of bringing it out to me, and that's when I tore. But even though it was torn, I was like, oh, I'll just work around it. It will heal, and little by little, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse until I finally couldn't press anything. I mean, I would take a 10-pound dumbbell and I just couldn't control it. It'd be like going all over the place.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty common injury with bodybuilders that you kind of like torn biceps, torn rotator cuff and stuff. Even like I also tore my bicep, my right one, a few years back. And the doctor told me it's very common when you tear your bicep tendon that you also tear your supraspinatus at the same time. So I did that. Both tendons just snapped.
Someone asked me a question. What were the symptoms and what rotator cuff muscle was it? The rotator cuff is not a muscle. It's a sheath of tendons. And the symptoms is you feel like you got stabbed with a knife right in your shoulder. Like every time you try to move it.
I heard like, I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. When I first did it, when the guy dropped the weight on me, I held the weight, but I felt this.
Yeah.
It just like that. And then it was torn. And then, like I said, I kept trying to train, and a few more times it just tore more and more, and I had to have the surgery. It wasn't going anywhere.
One thing I want to jump back to what Hella is saying about guys training glutes. I notice a lot of people don't train the forearms, the calves. They kind of put them in like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it afterthought, the abs. And I feel like I get a lot of people and they're like, oh, I got tendonitis. And I'm like, well, are you strengthening your forearm extensor muscles? You know, are you like doing stuff? They're like, no, I just like do curls and triceps. And I'm like, well, this stuff is all pretty important also, you know, for not getting tendonitis. And, you know, kind of the same thing with like maybe knee injuries, you know, if there's like, you're not doing your like abduction, you're not like your foot isn't sliding like correctly with the musculature down here because you're not training, like all that's like people that skip a lot of that stuff. I know it's kind of tedious, but like all that stuff's really important.
But really, like everybody should be doing some mobility. Like when I was younger, I never did mobility, maybe like a few arm rolls, but you know, I never did shit. And then you get older and you get this and you get there and you get your back and it forces you to do that mobility. So now I don't start any workout before I do mobility. And it just preps the body in a really great way to just, you can just literally just jump in your workout.
Larry does a lot of mobility as well. I do some too. I think definitely as you get more older and more injuries accumulated, you're like, oh, now I got to start doing that.
I mean, if there's something I could have said to my younger self, then it was like, do your mobility. Like it doesn't take that long. Like really just do like 10, 15 minutes before your workout and do like really good mobility exercises. And I truly believe that can prevent injuries because like you said, with the foot, it's so important when you lift heavy squats and you go do your Bulgarians and all that do you have good ankle mobility? Do you have good just stability in general, or is your knees going a little or your ankles a little? Like it makes a big difference. Like from the foot, everything can travel up even into your hips and lower back.
Yeah, you see that a lot. You see people like squatting and they shift, you know, and that's just like, that's mobility in like maybe your ankle, your hip, your, you know.
And then they got 400 pounds on the bar, you know, and you see, you're like, shit.
You know, when I was a kid, like 9 or 10, whatever it was, my father put my brother and I in martial arts and karate class. And we started every session. We did a shit ton of abs and stretching. Like half the karate class was abs and stretching. We did leg raises and crunches and then all this stretching before we started the karate workout. And that just stuck with me. And I've always done that before I train with weights. I do abs and I do a bunch of stretching. And now I dig on myself with a massage gun while I'm stretching as well, just to get loosened up. And I literally have to do that before I train. And because otherwise I'm just too tight and I can't, it takes too long to warm up.
I like to ride like the stationary bike, or do the rower, or just do some kind of movement for maybe 10 minutes is about right to kind of get your core temperature up and get the synovial fluid lubricating your joints and stuff. I just see a lot of people that walk straight in and then they like don't even barely warm up. Say they're doing like chest, they'll just jump to like 80 pounds on the dumbbell, and then they'll go up to like, then they'll go up to like 100 on like 2 sets, and they're just like working their max. And I'm like, you're young, so that's okay right now, but when you're about 40, you're going to be like, damn, I can't do that no more.
One thing I've always had an issue
and things start around that age.
Yeah. I've always had an issue with training partners because I always warm up on the mat before I do any weightlifting. And I usually spend about 20 to 30 minutes doing it. And training partners, they would come in and they don't want to do it. So they would like be sitting there just waiting for me. Just sitting there.
Yeah, why not get something out of it?
No, they just don't want to do it. They'll just sit there and wait.
But that's why they're going to end up at the physio or the chiropractor.
I tell them, but they don't listen. But all my training clients, I make them go through this warm-up routine, which is they do dead bug crunches, which is like a leg raise crunch at the same time, and planks, along with a bunch of stretching.
Planks are amazing. I follow many of the physiotherapy pages, like mobility pages on Instagram and stuff. There's one that's called Move You, which is like absolutely genius. And I do a lot of stuff there, like the airplanes and all kind of like just drills for the ankles. It depends on like what muscle group I have to train. But I always like find exercises that fit that day. So if it's like shoulder or chest day, I'll do a lot of like with bands, like pulling apart, like all of these going up, going down, wall slides, like it's just when you do all of that, like I say all of that, but I don't spend more than maybe 10, 15 minutes, but I go like intensive, like in a circuit, and I'm ready. Like I really feel like my shoulder, they're prepped for the workout. Like I don't even need that many warm-up sets.
A lot of people just don't do them because they don't know what to do. They don't have like a program that they just go in and like, do it.
But what? It's so easy to research today. Like you can literally like make ChatGPT write you a mobility program for shoulders, or like there's so many sites like Move You that have an app that has like a whole database of like whatever mobility you need for any type of issue or body part or whatever. It's so information today is so easy. It's all about having a willingness to do it.
I have a warm-up routine that I developed over years and years of like fixing injuries and different things. And there's 4 areas susceptible to injury. It's your lower back, your midsection, your knees, and your rotator cuffs. And so those areas I specifically target with ab work and different. I have this whole like rotator cuff exercise thing that I do with no weights. And I actually have a printout of it, and I give it to every single one of my training clients, and I teach them this routine, and they all do it. And this is crazy. I worked at a Gold's Gym like in Los Angeles. I'm talking, 20 years ago as a trainer for a short period of time. And all my training clients, I taught this warm-up routine. And it's very different than anything you'd see anybody else do. And years later, I went into there and I saw people doing it. Like other people that I didn't even know. Like
that's so amazing.
They were copying my clients' warm-up routine. That's
a good sign.
But
that's a good sign.
Yeah, I learned this like first it was at martial arts, and then when I had injuries, I went to physical therapists, and they taught me other mobility exercises and different things. And so I started incorporating that stuff, and I just put together this like routine. And really, it takes most people about 10 minutes to get through it, but I spend longer because I stretch for a long time. So I'll literally lay there and just dig on myself with a massage gun in a stretch position. And someone asked if I do it only in the gym or at home. I only do it at the gym, and I'll tell you why. The gym is like 10 minutes from my house, and we have a big stretching mat there, and I just do everything there. And I also get deep tissue work every week. And I have this massage guy, and I have 3 herniated discs right now in my lower back, and it's been causing me problems for like a while, like last 3 years.
Yeah.
This is crazy. He's been working on me now for maybe 3 months. And every single time I get off his table, I'm standing up straight and I'm 3 inches taller.
Wow.
Like he does a combination of deep tissue and stretching me at the same time. And literally, like he's even wants to film this because like I'm actually seeing him today later. And he's a classic physique pro bodybuilder. So he knows the body, but it's crazy. I'll walk in there and my back's super tight and I'm like hunched over, and I get off his table. I'm like standing straight up.
You should give out the info on him, like if people if they're in the area.
Oh,
how do they get in contact with him?
His name is Donzel. He's so freaking busy. He is like so booked all the time. It's like really hard. It took me months to get an appointment with him, but now I see him every week. But yeah, if someone is in the area, if you just message me on IG, I'll send you his information. But
maybe we should get to also today's topic.
Yeah, let's get to that. So I wanted to start off talking about, we got Tampa Pro coming up, and that is sort of exciting because Nick Walker has been bouncing back and forth with, he's not going to compete and this and that, and he's not going to go for the Olympia. But now he finally announced he's going to do the Tampa Pro, and it just so happens he's going to be competing against Joe Palacios, which, if you guys recall, he did the Tampa Pro and Texas last year, and he's a big tank, and he looked phenomenal.
What's Joe Palacios? What's his Instagram? I couldn't find it.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. I got his Instagram account.
I think it's Joe the Machine.
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now.
I wanted to snoop on how he looks now.
Here he is right here. Let me see if there's I know I saw recent updates. I'm not sure these pictures here. There were some posing videos. So let's take a look right here. So I think this is pretty recent right here.
Are you sure it's Joe the Machine? It doesn't come up.
JO_the_machine.
Okay.
The Machine.
Now I got him.
So he is damn impressive. I mean, he's freaking huge. We saw him compete. Actually, I thought he was going to beat that guy in the Texas Pro.
Who was it? Jordan
Hutchinson.
Yeah,
I thought Jordan had, like, I don't know, maybe a little bit better like symmetry or whatever.
He had better
Joe
structure.
was so at Texas especially.
Yeah,
he was so big and shredded. It was crazy.
Yeah, Joe's a man. I think he's like kind of on the shorter side, maybe like 5'8", but I think he gets up to like over 300 in the off season. Freaking just muscle.
Yeah, he was over 300. I actually met him at the LA Fit Expo and stood right next to him, and I think he's like 5'9" actually.
Oh, okay. 5'8", 5'9". Yeah, but still, he's not that tall. I think Nick is like 5'7", 5'8", so he might be a little bit taller than Nick. But they both get to like 300 in the off season, which is crazy.
So he looks crazy impressive.
I think Hella dropped out. See if she's trying to get back in.
Oh, she's got out. Oh.
Hey,
Got locked
back.
out.
Got locked out. Yeah, I'm just looking at pictures of him. He looks like insane. He looks good. Huge.
Yeah, big boy.
Definitely
Let me
big
see
boy.
if he's got any.
It'll be interesting to see him and Nick because they kind of both have
Yeah,
like.
so let me see if there's
I
anything
was
from
just
his.
about to say that, Luke. I was
They're
just
not
about
big
to say
structure
that.
guys, but they're just stacked with muscle. So
Yeah, they're kind of similar. Similar in the structure.
I mean, that could be huge for
I wanted
Joe.
to see if there was
I mean
pictures from his last company.
that side hamstring is sick.
Yeah,
Crazy.
nuts. 3 days ago.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, it looks like he's
want to
coming
see if there's
in. He's
pictures
got a little
from,
more to go, but his
from
glutes look like
Texas
they're coming in.
last year.
Yeah, he needs to get sharper still, but let's see when the water comes out. I mean, glutes are striated.
Yeah, but he still looks like he's got fat in other places. Like maybe he doesn't store it in his,
I mean, his back.
Quads look a little bit like maybe some fat still on his quads, but it's gone on his glutes.
And also this lat spread, his back looks pretty smooth.
Yeah, up in the upper back. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't have a lot of detail in this lat spread.
Yeah, I think he'll get it though. He gets pretty detailed when he comes in.
Okay.
But yeah, his glutes
I'm trying to see if there's
fat.
pictures from.
I mean, this picture is only like 3 days ago.
Yeah, but he still has like 6 or 7 weeks till Tampa Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's time enough.
Yeah.
That's time enough.
So here's a thing from last. So that was at Tampa Pro last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets pretty damn conditioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did the Cal, and I think he got like last place at the Cal a couple years ago, and then I think he's working with Justin Compton, and then he just came a year later to that Texas Pro or to Tampa Pro, and he was just like a different package.
He looked better even in Texas than he did at Tampa,
mm-hmm.
which was just a week later.
Mm-hmm.
So,
big boy.
Yeah, that would
structurally
definitely be an interest. It would be an interesting comparison with Nick.
Yeah, Nick is Nick's a veteran. He's had so many shows. He just was pushing Andrew at Arnold, 2 months ago. So Nick, I think, is going to be pretty tough to beat, to be honest. And he's a top 5, top 6 guy at the Olympia.
Yeah, no, I agree, and he also comes in that crazy conditioning. I mean, if he comes in like he did last time, whew.
Yeah,
but he is crazy to look at though. Like he's dealt like humongous.
Yeah, enormous.
So I'm gonna pull up Nick, see if we got some recent updates.
He's got those delts that go up and then they go out.
Nick looks good, man.
So that was recent.
I feel like Nick has slightly better structure than Joe. Nick is huge, man.
And
Nick
that's funny
Nick's
to say that
yeah.
because everybody knocks on Nick because of his structure, but
when you're talking about comparing apples to apples, I think Nick edges him out on structure. But I mean, Joe, they both have different qualities for sure. I would say maybe Joe's structure on his legs is a little bit better, but Nick has nicer kind of like shoulders and arms, and maybe like his waist is like a little bit narrower. So it'll be interesting to see, putting 2 mass monsters against each other like that.
Yeah.
I actually think that Nick will take this fairly easily, even though Joe's going to be a good comparison.
Yeah.
Because Nick is just on another level.
Yeah, he's really on fire right now.
What Nick has that that Joe doesn't have is just refinement. He's just been competing longer. Oh, we lost Hella again.
Look, we just lost. Oh, she did it.
There she goes. He's just been competing longer, and because he's been competing longer,
veteran. Yeah, so I said at the beginning, he's a veteran.
Yeah, and he brings a level of conditioning. Where's Hella?
She must have spotty internet or something.
He brings a level of conditioning that like almost nobody else has, especially at that size.
Yeah,
you know, just the denseness and graininess. I feel like Joe has the size, but he has, you know, he doesn't have the muscle maturity that Nick has. You know, that just dense, hard look to him just yet. I think it's probably going to take him a couple more years to get to that level.
Is Hella trying to get back in yet?
It's just he's disconnected.
Oh, well, she'll probably try to jump back in. I think her internet's spotty.
What's this? She's anyway.
Do you want to talk about the?
Let's get into that. Toronto. So
look at the lineup.
I'm gonna pull up the. I had it up on a different thing. Let's see. Toronto Pro. Competitor list. Here we go. Actually, that's not the full one. Let me pull up the full one. Here we go.
I mean, the person that should win this is Quinton, but he's coaching himself, so I don't know what his conditioning is going to look like.
Oh,
he has the best structure out of anyone on this list. There she is.
Hey, I have a little bit of connection problems today.
Are you in? Where'd you say you're? Are you with
Zanzibar? I'm back in Zanzibar.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was wondering. What's the time change from here? 9 hours, you said?
From LA is 10 hours.
10
I'm
hours?
10 hours ahead. So right now it's almost 10 o'clock p.m. here.
We're looking at the lineup for Toronto.
So actually, it's a pretty
Quinton is a good. Quinton is a good bet.
That's what I just said before you got on. Quinton should win this, but he's coaching himself, so I don't know what his conditioning is going to look like.
I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, maybe skin could be a little thinner. I looked at his Instagram earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, his structure is just crazy. Like that.
Yeah.
So much mass for that tiny waist. Let me see.
What is under Quinton?
Quinton Beastwood.
There's something like 4 days ago.
There it is.
A lat spread, a front double, like 4 days ago. I mean, he looks like the skin could still get a little thinner, but let's see.
Here, I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, he always had like crazy gym check-ins, but his stage was like, I feel like he only kind of dialed it in once, and it was like not even like crazy dialed. His structure kind of carries him a little further than his conditioning.
Right. I don't know why he's not working with a coach.
He had a bad experience with Matt Jansen, and then kind of just doesn't really believe in coaches right now. So,
right.
I mean, his structure is just insane. It just looks.
Yeah, I mean, he looks
wild,
really
man.
good. I mean, glutes are striated. There's like a posing.
Are they? I'm only seeing from the front. Oh, here we go. Here's a
June 4th. There's a posing.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Video.
Yeah, I don't
Which
feel
one
like he's
are you looking at?
quite dialed unless this is just like post training.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like his skin could still get thinner, especially in the back.
Yeah.
Are we talking about right here?
Yeah. That's the video I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, glutes are striated.
Is that the one you're looking at?
Separated, but I still feel like
that was a week ago, so
sharper.
maybe he's coming down a little bit more than this, but
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm seeing some of the other guys on this list, like Wellington probably had better conditioning than him, and Wellington carries a lot of mass. Wellington beat me at the Cal. He got second, so he'll probably be in that top 5.
Wellington was second.
Wellington was second at the Cal Pro. And so he was pretty dialed. He has a lot of mass. He's like, I think I was probably second most mass on stage that day, and he had the most. He's just like huge up in like the shoulders and upper body.
So yeah, Wellington comes with pretty crazy conditioning, and he was big as well.
Yeah.
And the other guy, Eric Wood looked phenomenal at the Legion. His conditioning was just unreal. Like, I mean, what's his name? Antonio beat him on just shape and roundness and everything. But this guy had the best conditioning in the show. This Eric Wood. He looked just nuts.
Yeah, I remember him. He looked really good.
Blessing is going to be in that show. I don't think Blessing can really beat Quinton, so he'll probably be top 5. The top 5 will probably be Blessing, Wellington, Quinton, Dorian, Eric.
Now, I was going to mention Dorian. I'm actually doing an interview with Dorian tomorrow afternoon. It'll be live at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So if you guys want to tune in for that, that should be interesting. So let me see if I can pull him up.
If Wellington's better condition, I got him as winning this show. I don't think that Quinton's conditioning is good enough from what I just saw on the video. Structurally, he's the best, but conditioning, I don't think he's there yet. Yeah, and he's got that like black guy skin, so it's a little thicker, like a little bit more collagen in his skin. So he's got the goods. I just don't see him being there from last week to this week.
Yeah, I mean it's only a week ago, so
yeah. But his structure looks amazing. I mean, I'm not trying to like dig on him. I just don't think he's like quite hard enough yet.
Yeah, I see.
So this is Eric Wood, and I mean, just look. He looked just shredded, and he's surprisingly big.
Yeah, he was pretty heavy on stage. I want to say he was probably about 245, 250 on stage.
Yeah, and his back shots were really, really good. Like peeled. Like, let me see if I can find one right here. Like, look at that. So there, he doesn't look as impressive by himself. He's got kind of a body like it's by himself. He doesn't look as good as he does next to other people because he just doesn't look that big until you see him in a lineup, and then you see like how big he actually is next to Tonio.
Mm-hmm.
Tonio looks taller than him. Tonio's only like
Chris Aceto.
5'7".
Yeah. Is he with Chris?
Yeah.
I think they're probably about the same height.
I thought he was maybe 5'8", 5'9" when I was next to him on stage, but
maybe he is.
Maybe he's just squatting down a little bit. I don't know.
But see, Tonio has got that roundness to him.
Yeah. Tonio outstructures him, I would say. Tonio's back is considerably thicker than his. He's lean in the back, but his back really wasn't that thick, I wouldn't say.
No, I just think, conditioning wise, his
Christmas tree was crazy. Go up a little bit and look at his Christmas tree. His Christmas tree was nuts.
Yeah, he looks good. Damn.
Yeah, we actually saw him. Leo and I, we did a thing right before the Legion, and we pulled him up, and we didn't even know who he was, but we were like, this guy's going to do really good.
Mm-hmm.
He was just impressive. Just the muscularity.
I know. He kind of came in as a nobody, and he placed second to Tonio, so that's pretty good.
What
do you think of the
pull up Dorian
Masters or Olympia Masters winner?
Dorian?
Yeah.
I feel like he always just has the same package. Like he's always just like okay, like I don't see him climbing above, maybe like a fourth or fifth place very far, because if there's like guys that have better structure, but for years I saw Dorian, like before he did the Masters Olympia, he was kind of like a low second call out guy, maybe like 7th to 9th in most of the shows that I saw him in. But he's like a chronic competitor. Like I think he's done 40.
He's done so many shows.
He's done like 41 or 49 shows that are pro shows, and I think he said he's done 70 total shows. So
wow,
yeah, he's a chronic, and I was wondering how he makes progress, because he's just like I don't know how you like get bigger if you're constantly in like a depleted state.
Right. Yeah. I just always feel like he just needs the last bit of conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with him actually for posing. I was his posing coach leading up to the Masters Olympia.
Dorian's go ahead.
Yeah, I was his posing coach leading up to the Masters Olympia, and I just feel like he doesn't get dry enough early enough. Just like he always, every show I see him, like he needs the last little bit, last little bit of fat, little bit of water.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he's just, maybe he's just not peaking specifically perfect. I think he just always has a little layer of water. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like the conditioning's pretty close; it's right there, but I just feel like he has like a little layer of water.
A little bit drier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know. I wonder. I don't know what his peaking looks like, but guys that have a hard time getting like dry, usually it's a kidney issue. Like if your kidneys aren't filtering well, and you've been pounding them with like 40 shows. And if you're using diuretics with each one and stuff like that, they can kind of like take some abuse, and then it'll be like nearly impossible for you to get dry without
Yeah, that makes sense.
Without help.
Yeah.
I mean, without your kidneys being in better condition,
he actually was. His conditioning was really good at the last 2 shows.
The best probably he's delivered.
The last 2 shows, his conditioning was better than I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was the best.
And he actually improved between Cal and the Legion.
I think Masters Olympia was probably the best he ever had.
Yeah. I think he's done like 5 shows.
I think he's better now than he was at Masters Olympia.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him in person at the Cal, and man, he was awfully big.
He's a big guy
and very, very lean.
Yeah, I would say he's probably like
and I thought he was
on stage. Like he's a big guy.
How tall is he?
He's a little bit taller than me, I would say, maybe like 5'10 and a half, 5'11. Maybe equal height to me.
Which is kind of tall in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah. No, but he carries a lot of mass as well.
Yeah, he does. He's a big guy.
Dave Calic was his coach.
Yeah, I know.
And
they trained at Gold's Gym, Venice, where that was my home gym for 10 years. So I saw Dave Calic, and I saw him train many times.
So Dave and I were good friends, and actually that's how I met Dorian, through Dave Calic. And I talked to him for a while when I was at Dave's wake. They had a special it was like a memorial thing for him at Gold's Venice. First it was out on the beach, they did a thing, and then we went to Gold's Venice. And Jake Woods was actually there, and I didn't even know that
oh, really?
Dave Calic was Dave Woods' coach.
Oh, I didn't know that
Jake
either.
Woods' coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they worked together.
Calic had some interesting theories on like protein. He believed in combining different protein sources in the same meal. So he would have three different protein sources in every meal different.
I had Calic as a coach for some months, so I know.
Digestion and oh yeah, and how did you like what his style of coaching and what he did?
I mean, it was interesting, like you eat like half tilapia, half chicken, or eggs with beef or something like that. I mean, I don't know how much it really matters. Like I do believe in different protein sources throughout the day. But if it really needs to be in the same meal, I don't think it's that critical, like the body will take the amino acids that it needs. But I mean, it was interesting to try the theory. He also had like breakfast. He would have me like eat the protein first and then wait 30 minutes before I could eat the carbs. So he wanted to separate also carbs and proteins in some meals. So he had some interesting theories.
I found like myself, if I eat straight beef by itself, it doesn't digest that great. But if I mix it with like ground beef and ground turkey or beef with chicken, it seems to digest better. I that could be better anyways, but maybe it's because it's. But if I mix the beef with the turkey, I digest it better.
Right.
But I can't do the carbs separate with the protein because. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
there might be some digestive benefits.
I think Dorian is. I think Dorian is improved, which is he's a Masters competitor, and I'm not sure exactly. I think he's probably late 40s.
Yeah, I think so. Is there something new on his page?
So he's been doing this for a long time, and he's been improving steadily over time.
Yeah, he's been improving for sure.
I expect him to do pretty well this show. If he can come in 100%, somebody's off. You never know. I mean, he definitely has a size, and Legion, his conditioning was better than I've ever seen it before. So let's go back to the list. So let's see who else do we have on this list. That's there's a lot of competitors in here. Some of them I've never even heard of before. But
yeah, there are many.
Let's see. We've got Blessing. I don't know. Blessing, I know he's very popular and everything. I just feel like structurally, he's got a kind of a weird build.
He's getting better, not structurally, but his conditioning has been doing better. He's working with a coach that I know, Dane. What's Dane's last name? I can't think of it right now. But Dane's like really bringing him in a lot better. He brought him in at the Arnold UK, and he was like had a better. I think he did decent there. I want to say he did like maybe 4th or 5th or something like that at Arnold.
Yeah, I think conditioning has been his problem. Like,
yeah, he kind of seems like he has a little bit of like the same issue as Brandon Curry with his legs. Like they're big, but they just don't really get too separated.
Right.
Through the quads, through like the RF.
It might be like a thicker skin. You know, it seems like if you have thicker skin that it doesn't really like the feathering and stuff doesn't really come through.
Yeah. It might be a little bit of almost like a skin color thing as well, because like they might be like really lean, but like if the light doesn't kind of like reflect off it correctly, then they
you know what his Instagram is? I'm trying to pull it up, but I can't. I put in his name, but it's not coming up like that.
What's Blessing? It's Blessing _ Adiwabu.
Oh, it's _ Oh, I found him.
Awadibu. I mean, he looks good in this shot 4 days out right now. His quads are showing in this one. Not like crazy separation in the RF. Maybe he's just posing it wrong. These shots look pretty good. He's definitely going to be in that top 4, I would say, for this show.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are you looking at this shot?
I'm trying to pull it up right now. Hang on. Whoops. Uh-oh. Let's remove. Let's see.
He looks good. He looks like pretty tremendous right here. These shots I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be like fighting it out for 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, those are from 4 days ago.
Yeah, look at like a little bit lower. He's got some back shots that shows his glutes. His glutes are dialed.
Oh yeah.
From June 3rd.
Pull up the Instagram again.
Yeah.
Yeah, his back.
Video, right?
Yeah, his back looks pretty thick too. Nice spinal erectors, traps coming all the way down, big arms.
He's in shape for this show.
Yeah, no, he's in good shape.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Yeah, you see his legs. I think he had some knee injuries.
Oh,
and
maybe.
I was thinking, did his leg downsize? Does his legs downsize a little bit?
Mm.
I mean, sometimes it can also be like people are just like really super flat, like.
Or the camera angle, if you're like kind of looking down, it can make your legs look smaller.
Yeah.
No, his legs like are bigger from the top, and then they
taper
like
down fast.
taper down towards his knee, and
It
you can
just looks
see
like
the
his
one knee
adductor
is like
doesn't
really
connect very
swollen.
low. It looks like his adductor doesn't connect too low.
Yeah. You see how his knee is real swollen on the right side?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very obvious.
Yeah, he had some sort of injury there, and he has a problem training legs.
Oh.
I mean, that quad is also smaller than the other one.
Yeah, I do see that. Yeah.
But he's definitely bringing the peel. Also, his lower back.
Yeah, I think he's going to be banging it out for top 2 or top 3 in this show.
Yep.
You think he'd get top 2?
I mean, it's not a very deep lineup. I don't know who's gonna be challenging him.
I mean, there's a lot of like really unknowns there.
Yeah. I mean, Quinton should be the favorite, but I'm not too impressed with his conditioning. Wellington will be up there. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be Blessing, Wellington, Quinton, and Dorian for the top 4, and then Eric Wood, top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very possible. I'm more impressed with his with Blessing's conditioning than Quinton's. I mean, Quinton's got the structure, but if he's not dialed in, he's not going to take it.
Yeah. Yep.
The boogeyman.
We got any other topics we got to hit?
Let's go to I think we pretty much covered this one. I mean, there's a lot of competitors in here that
a lot of these guys I don't really know
very much about.
I mean, Matt Kuba, I competed with him 8 years ago. I mean, he's a Chris Aceto guy as well. He was back then. I don't know if he is now, but a lot of these guys I'm not too familiar with. South Korea.
Yeah, me neither.
Didn't Timothy Klein compete? Didn't Timothy Klein just compete with you in one of these shows?
I'm not sure. Roy Evans competed at both Cal and Reno. I think Roy placed right behind me.
I think both of those.
Roy's got nice structure. He won USA's like a year or two ago, but his conditioning just wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
I think he coaches himself, and I think Aceto may do him now or something like that, but he just wasn't quite locked in. We got that other topic, Larry, we were talking about on the DMs about the coaching thing. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. So let me get this off the screen. Get back to where I was. Move. So I think what we're talking about was these coaches that were
given
basically
programs.
Cookie cutter programs.
Yeah.
And so you have these coaches that, they have no experience and they've never even competed themselves, or they haven't even done well. There's one that we have one locally here in Ventura. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to give him any recognition, but he's got this team something, and this guy looks like absolute shit. Like his body is horrible. He's competed, but he's never even placed in a local competition.
That's pretty bad.
And he knows nothing about prepping or even training, I don't think, because every single client I've ever seen that he can't do anything with them. They all suck. And yet he takes people's money and promotes himself as his coach. And, you know, we live in a place where, you know, there's not a lot of bodybuilders and people here kind of just don't know. So he gets a lot of newbie people fall into it. And the guy that I just coached that won the Cal, he won his division at the Cal, this idiot, he trained the same guy 2 years ago. And Eriya brought him to me 2 years ago, and he was a week out from a show. And I took a look at him and I said, just don't even compete. You're not ready. And there's nothing I can do for you in a week. You're just not even close to ready. I mean, he was still fat. Yeah. But he competed anyways. And like he took like dead last against a bunch of guys that were way smaller than him. Mm-hmm. And I prepped him for the Cal, and he was a hard one to prep because one, his body holds fat and water like no other.
Yeah, he's an endomorph.
He had a hard time dying.
He's got nice nice like extremities, but he's an endomorph.
Yeah. He was really, I mean, we did 20-week prep for this one, and he was on low carbs for like almost all of it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Just to get him,
tough one.
Just to get him, I mean, and with doing cardio and everything else under the sun. And he won his class, and it kind of pissed me off because after the show, this other cookie cutter coach is posting congratulations, Chuck, and team, what his team on it, like as if he did it. Like he's trying to take credit for it. And he had nothing to do with it. Literally nothing. I've never spoken to this guy personally in my life.
Yeah, you've been coaching Charlie for a couple of years now. At least a year.
Yeah. No, 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this guy I never spoke to this guy about anything. But other than he called me like 5 years ago and asked me for some diuretics. And I at the time I didn't even know who he was. I'm like, who the hell are you? I'm not giving you anything. Mm. And but yeah, the guy's trying to take credit like
this is just a problem in general in the industry. Just a lot of people want to make a buck on something they don't really have the expertise, you know, like we all know, like if somebody got a nice pair of abs and they're a coach, or they maybe did one show, then they're also a coach, or they have a lot of followers, they're also a coach. I mean, it's just the market is so oversaturated. And I feel really bad also for the clients that is like, how are you going to choose? Like, you know, because everybody has a good speech, right? And a good Instagram.
I have a different perspective on it. I blame the clients. I mean, some of them are just ignorant, but let's get real. Most of these people, they don't want to pay any money. So they want cheap. And they want you to just
get what you pay
for.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, and they don't want to do the work. So you get people, they just want an easy program and that's going to somehow get results, and they don't want to pay anything. So, I mean, what do you expect for that? I actually have, I have a lady that I'm training right now. She's training for powerlifting, not bodybuilding, but she was a member at my gym, and she was posting her training workouts on Instagram. And I noticed she trains really hard. She was trying really hard. But I asked her, I'm like, so who does your coaching and your programming? And what was the name? Mike Israels. She was on his like coaching program. And she showed me her program, and it was just like, first of all, he had her on like 4,000 calories a day. And she was like 35% body fat. And I'm like, why do you think you need to eat so much? He had her on like this really high carb, low protein diet. And the training program was like just complete bullshit. Anyways, I said, I see how hard you're working in the gym. I'll help you. And I took over her training like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. And she's been making like progress every single week. Her lists go up. And this is after she's been training for a long time. She was making no progress with them. Mm-hmm. And I know like Mike Israetel didn't actually do anything. Like she never spoke to him. She just had a subscription on his app, right? I think no, she had some kind of coach through him, like somebody she was talking to, like under him.
Okay. I think also that's a problem. Like if somebody wants to say they want to be coached by Israetel and they just get somebody else on the staff, or somebody wants to be coached by you, Larry, and then they would get somebody else. It's like
they had teams.
Maybe. I mean, maybe your name is pulling it, but it's like it could basically be somebody who's like not good at all.
Yeah, but so the way it should work is if you have a team and then you have a coach working under you, say somebody wants to come to you and they want to get coached and they're just like, I just can't afford $450 a month. And then you're like, okay, well, I have another coach. I oversee all of his programming. If you want to work with him, he charges less, but I kind of review. And if he has a question about your stuff, he asks me. That's the way it should work in theory. Like if you're doing it correctly.
But then again, do they? I actually got a client from a famous coaching team, and she was expecting to work with a head coach, and then she was told that he was busy, fully booked or whatever, so she could get somebody else. And I saw her programs because she came after me after I think 1 or 2 months there. She came to me, and the programs were like, what the fuck? Like really? Like I was like, really? This does not make any sense.
The training or just everything?
Everything. Like this was a woman's bodybuilder, and he put her on 20 milligram of Primo, and I'm like,
per week or what?
Per week? Like
that's way low for a women's bodybuilder. Be like
for
maybe what? 20 milligrams a day or more.
I was like, what is that for? Like, why are you taking that? And she was like, well, I was also wondering. I'm like, that just
it's not even
that's like not
even a bikini competitor would take that much.
It don't make any sense to do that. Like for what? Like even like, okay, so she did a cycle and she was recovering, but I'm like, why wouldn't you just let her recover instead of putting 20 milligrams of Primo for nothing in there? Like it's just to me that just made no sense. There was like several things. Also like the diet and stuff was like too low for where she was at, and so.
Well, I mean, it's hard to definitely. I've had to push clients to lower calories than I wanted to, but it was because I was just like the feedback I was getting from their body was like they're not responding to like this amount, or if we do increase the calories, they start just putting on weight. And that might have been a problem with them doing their macros wrong, doing it incorrectly, thinking I'm saying one thing and they're doing way more. Say like I'm telling them to measure something cooked and they're measuring it dry and then eating it cooked, something like that. So there's definitely like, if somebody looked at a program and I had to take a girl down to maybe like 1,350 calories, it may be like, oh my God, that's so low. But like, you kind of just have to follow what the client's body tells you, and it might be like for a period and then so there's a lot. It's hard to just look at a snapshot. It's like looking at a blood lab snapshot and saying like, oh, this person definitely has liver damage, when you're like, well, that's just like one test from a blood lab. You couldn't even really tell liver damage. So definitely like if I saw somebody I was like, this is like really backwards, or maybe a cycle that was really backwards, say they're like stacking Deca and Trenbolone and Ment or something like that, I might be like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. Or like high dosages, I might be like, yeah, there's no reason for you to be taking 4 grams of all this like 5 different compounds.
I mean for this
stuff
for
could
this
look
person,
weird, sure, but
everything was just like, what can I say? 2 week, like just two
yeah,
week, 2 week a nutrition plan for somebody who's off season.
true.
Just two week of a cycle for somebody who's. I mean, she was like something like 2 months past the post cycle.
Yeah.
So I mean, she could basically be ready to start something again where he started her up on that. So
Well,
I don't
I'm
really know.
not saying there's not bad coaches, but I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes you just have to get. It's hard to take it from like a person, like what their, you know, what their coach's plan. They might not know what their coach's plan was, because you might take somebody down to try to get them lean, to get their insulin sensitivity up, and then somebody might see that program and be like, "Oh, this is a terrible for the off season," but like there's actually like a reason to kind of go that direction, you know?
Yeah,
So,
true.
So that I hate to kind of like shit on other coaches' plans, and there's definitely, I'm not saying there's not bad coaches out there. There's probably more bad coaches than there are good coaches, but you know, without kind of running somebody for a couple months on my own like stuff, I hate to really be like, oh, your coach had like the wrong thing, you know. I just don't like to like go that route right away, because I feel like in a sense it can feel almost like you're trying to steal their client. Like if they show you like, hey, what do you think of this? And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do it this way myself or whatever. But you know, so I hate to kind of like shit on a coach's program specifically if I don't know what their like direction is or what they're going with.
Well, I have training programs that I use with apps. I have one, it's called True Coach, where I program the workouts in. And I have another one, it's called VitaBot, where I program the nutrition in. And I use these because it's really easy for me and the client to communicate exactly what's going on. And so like every week I'll program their workouts, and they upload a video of their top set from each exercise. And I'm just looking to see their form and how difficult it was, so I can decide whether we increase weight or stay the same or whatever. And I'll make little notes, you know, do this, do that, go deeper on your squat or whatever the situation is. And then on the nutrition program, I'll program that all in. I get a DEXA scan and I do all that. And for me, I've been using these programs for like several years. So it's pretty easy for me to do it. Like I can program somebody a week worth of workouts in probably 20 minutes. You know, I just got to look at the videos and then I know exactly what to do. But I've tried to teach it to other trainers, and they just don't do it right because they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge amount of nuance to knowing what we know. You know, we could look at something and say like, oh, your body mechanics is completely wrong. But like a newbie would just think like, oh, they're just squatting, you know, but we could be like, you're targeting glutes and your like lower back is coming into this way significantly.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the video and I know exactly what to do with it and exactly what to tell them in 2 seconds.
Yeah. But that's an experience thing that we just develop over time, you know. And these entry level coaches, like, they got to learn somewhere, but like, you know, if they're taking on 50 clients and they're still learning, I feel like it's a little bit of just
well, some people never, like I told you, this one coach out here, I mean, he's been doing this for a long time and he sucks.
Yeah.
He just sucks. And he never learned because he couldn't build his own body. Like he couldn't even do it himself.
That's a red flag. If they never went the distance themselves, it's a red flag that they might not know what they're doing.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing, like if you haven't done it yourself, you're not going to be able to understand it.
So along the same lines, you know Andrew Berry, right? He's a coach. He just he's creating a website right now where you can review coaches you've worked with, and people can put reviews up and like stuff like that. So it kind of will like give people a way to do research on a coach. You know, multiple people could comment or something like that, you know, so that he's actually like in the process of developing that website right now. I don't know what the name of it was. Let me see.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's nice to kind of people can exchange experiences.
Yeah. I mean,
and I also
be...
will agree with you, Larry. Like there are just some people, they don't have a flair for it. Maybe it's also like a point of interest. If it's something like you really have a passion for, you're really like meticulous. If I have people competing, I'm just like, I know how it is to want to win. I know how it is to put your everything on the plate for that. And I really take that seriously. Like I live for them, like the last few weeks, like I mean through the whole prep, but I'm really like, if I get a text and it's like I'm still awake, but it's 12 at night, I'm gonna answer it right away. I'm just there for them. Like they are number one, because I know that drive and that passion and that sacrifice. Whereas I feel like some other coaches, they just don't. Maybe they haven't lived that passion, or they don't know. You got to put yourself in their shoes.
Well, we live vicariously through our clients now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Before it was me trying to win competitions. Now I'm done with that part. So I want my clients to win, or at least,
same here. I tell my class, I want to win. Like I want to win. It's not just them that want to win. Like we want to win. It's
sometimes we want it more than they do.
True. Yeah. I have pep talk many clients, like really like,
and a lot of that has got to do with
coach them.
A lot of that has to do with, we can see the potential. So we can see, like, you could be something. They don't see that.
It's like a lot of people, they just don't have confidence. They're not confident in themselves. They're not confident in their look. And also bodybuilding, it's a tough sport because you're being judged all the time, like not just on stage, but judged by everybody. Like you are, we've all tried it. Like we're in the gym, we're working out, and like sometimes, you face nice comments like, "Oh, bro, you're ripped, you look awesome," and then others can say, people can say, I remember I met somebody at Biv's gym at my last Olympia, and I was something like 2 weeks out, and then she makes a remark like, "You're not doing the Olympia, are you?" And that just hit me like, poof, like immediately I was thinking, am I in that bad shape? You know what I mean? It's just like we're always being judged no matter what, like how we look all the time. And that can be really tough on some athletes.
Well, another thing that I see, which is even worse, is you have these people that are competing and they have all these yes men around them on their Instagram and everywhere. And everybody's like, "You're so awesome. You're so great. You're amazing." And, to them, they look amazing because they don't know what they don't even compete, or they're at a low level. So everybody looks amazing to them.
Right.
I'm kind of like, I just tell it like it is. I have no other way. I'm too brutally honest. And I'll just tell somebody straight out, like, "You're not ready," or "You need to do this," or "You need to do that," or whatever it is, whatever I think, I just tell them the truth. And a lot of people, they don't want to hear that.
Andrew just reached out to me. If anyone wants to go on this coach, this rate my coach, it's called ratemycoach.biz. And you can put in, there's already 39 coaches that have been rated. 210 athletes have rated them. And then there's all kinds of like reviews and stars and talking good and talking bad and all that stuff. So anybody that wants to do it, that's it. Ratemycoach.biz.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd sign up for that. But a lot of people, they don't want to hear the truth. My massage therapist guy, he told me, he said, some girl, she said she came to me, I don't know, sometime in the past couple of years, And I guess she was, I don't know if she's a bikini competitor or what she is, but she told him that I told her she's fat. I'm sure I didn't use those words. I'm sure I didn't just say you're fat, although I would, but I probably just told her you're not ready or you're not in shape or something to that effect. He showed me her picture. I don't even remember her. I don't even know what she looks like. But whatever I did tell her, she did not like it. Because I guess she had people blowing smoke up her ass, telling her how awesome she was. And I probably just told her, you're not ready. But
that coach gotta be honest.
Well, I'm just looking at what's real, What is the point of me pumping somebody out and telling them how great they're going to be, and then they go to this show and they suck? Like, that's not, I don't think that's a good thing. I wouldn't want someone to tell me that.
Right.
I've told people, I had a competitor, a masters competitor last year. He was shredded. He was in great shape, but he insisted on competing in the open. And I'm like, I like this guy. He's a great client and everything. But I'm like, listen, man, you're going to get destroyed in the open. I'm like, why don't you just compete in masters? He's like, no, I'm doing open. I'm like, every single week at check-ins, I tell him, listen, why don't you just do the masters? It's 1 week later. Nope, I'm doing open. So we go to the LA. He wins his division at the LA. He gets qualified for the USA. He's in high heaven because he won his whole thing at the LA. And now his head is big as freaking everything. And we get to the USA's and he gets an interview with the guy the night before. And he's like, we come to win. We don't compete for anything else. And I'm just like, oh God. And he ends up getting like third call out. And it wasn't a conditioning issue. He's just not big enough to compete in the open. The guy's 45 years old. And he was shredded, strided glutes, the whole bit. Great shape and everything, but he's just not big enough to compete in the open at that level. And I knew that. I told him, I'm like, you're going to get destroyed there. And when he got third call out, I just saw the look on his face, and it was like they let all the air out. His body faded so fast. He went from being up here to down here in freaking 10 seconds. And I told him afterwards, I'm like, I don't know what to tell. I told you this was going to happen.
I mean, sometimes you get humbled.
And so now he came to me again, and I'm like, dude, just do the masters. Just do masters. Let's forget about this open shit. You're 45 years old. You need 25 pounds more of muscle to compete in the open at your height. You're just not, it's not going to happen in your lifetime. But as the masters, I think he could get a pro card. He's good enough to get a pro card in the masters, but just not in the open. And I just know this because I've done all those competitions. I've done open for many, many years, and I've done the masters.
So did he do masters?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're talking about next year. And I just talked to him like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, dude, just do the masters. I'm like, you get a pro card in the masters. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are a masters competitor. You're not competing. You're not going to compete with these 25-year-olds or 30-year-olds, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And I know you got guys that are in their 40s that are like at the top.
You got to be honest as a coach, because you lose credibility. And I'm also like, I wouldn't want to put an athlete on stage that was maybe like thinking they were good enough, like, and then they would be like embarrassed,
right?
Like, and have a bad experience and maybe never even compete again.
That's happened. That happens. I had a guy that was
I mean, competing isn't for everybody. And
no,
I think a lot of people think it's going to be easier than it is, and it's really not easy at all when you're low calorie and you still got to get work done and you're you know, getting your training in, and then if you got kids on top of that, a lot of people, they have a dream to do it and they think it's going to be, you know, something, and then they're like, man, that was hard. Like, and I think a lot of people may do it as a bucket list. They're like, I just want to do it once and get in shape and see how I look and stuff. And, you know, it comes in all different forms. So
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Hey, I had a guy a few years ago. We were competing in the USA's, and he was shredded, big. I mean, he was going to compete as a middleweight, and like, I think he could have at least placed top 5 or even won his division. And we lost Hella. Oh, there she is. Anyways, we're getting ready to leave for Las Vegas the day before. We lost her again. I'm sure she'll be right back. Anyways, we're getting ready to leave for Las Vegas the day before. And he tells me I need to be a welterweight. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I need to compete as a welterweight. I'm like, no, man, you're a middleweight. What are you talking about? You're already shredded and everything. You're ready. You don't need to do anything. Like, you don't need to get lighter. But he just freaked out and panicked. And he was like, I gotta be a welterweight. On the drive to Las Vegas, he lost like 15 pounds of just water. And he just insisted he needed to compete as a welterweight. So he actually weighed in as a welterweight, and he still looked good. He would look better as a middleweight with more size. And he was shredded. And I think even as a welterweight, he could have not maybe won, but he would have been top 5 for sure. When they were doing his, his 30-second routine. Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
So I was talking about this competitor I had. When he was doing his 30-second routine at the prejudging, his best shots were he had a great back. His back lat spread and back double biceps were like lights out. He turned around to do his back shot, and they said 15 seconds. And instead of hitting his back shots, he just walks off stage. And my friend, who was also my training client, was a judge at that show. And she turned around and looked at me like, what just happened? And I'm like, I don't know. And he just walked off stage in the middle of his freaking thing. He could have just finished his thing. And he had like 4 poses left. And they said 15 seconds. He literally walked off the stage.
Did he misunderstand it?
He was so mentally fucked before we even went there. He was so convinced that he wasn't going to do well. And I kept telling him, just calm down. You're fine. But when we went to weigh-ins the day before, he's sitting there. This was the same show, Luke, that you turned pro at. He was sitting there and he's like, oh God, these guys are huge. They're so huge. And he's pointing to Patrick Moore. I'm like, dude, that guy's a super heavyweight. You're not competing against him. You're a welterweight. You're not even going to be on stage with that guy. The guys you're pointing at, he just mentally fucked himself like right before the show. Yep.
I mean, bodybuilding is a very mental game, like from start to end. It really is.
Yeah. And you got to have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
I 100%.
And I think sometimes people get mad about the work they didn't do, expecting to be better than they are. You know, they're like, I'm not as lean as I wanted to be. And like, well, what did you eat? Like, what did you train? How much cardio did you do? You know, like, oh, I had a, you know, maybe I'm not necessarily talking about in prep, but like in the off season, they're like, someone's like, oh, I'm not happy about, you know, like maybe one of my clients, I'm not happy about like how big my whatever is. And I'm like, well, like you haven't been sending me pictures. I don't know how your training is going. You haven't been sending me the videos that I asked for. So like, are you putting in every rep that I asked you to put in? Like, don't be mad about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, competing, like it's very mental, and I think I just got lucky because I did my first show when I was 16 and I won it, and that just gave me a huge confidence boost right there because I just beat all the 19-year-olds when I was 16. And then after that, I kept competing and winning shows. So I just was like, okay, I guess I'm good at this. But I don't know. I think some people are even afraid of success. They're scared to win. They don't see themselves there. This last guy I worked with, like he said to me, I said, you're going to the USA to get a pro card. And he goes, and then what? I'm like, well, then you get to compete as a pro. And he goes, well, then I have to start all over again.
What?
I mean,
that's what he told me.
He's
Then
not
I have
wrong.
to
A lot of times people turning pro is like honestly the worst thing for them if they like competing, because they went from a first call out guy to a fourth call out guy in one show.
I think it's like a mentality thing. Like, I remember like when I was an amateur and I was competing in Denmark. So I was the best in Denmark. I was winning all the shows. And yeah, like I was this shit at that time. But I was like, in my mind, I wanted to like go places, and like go to the US and compete about against somebody who was also going to give me an ass whooping, like I was just like, I would rather be a small fish in a big pond than a big fish in a small pond. And it's like I've seen people have different mindsets. Some people, their confidence just can't take to start all over again. Like they're not going to be the best anymore. Like I was the best in Denmark and I went to the States and I got my pro card and stuff. And I had many shows where I placed shit,
You had to climb back up that
it's just
ladder.
It is what it is, but you got to love that challenge, like
Everybody has
challenge.
Almost everybody has to do that. I mean, we have a few people that just jumped straight from the amateurs to the Olympia, like a Kevin Lavroni or a Derek Lunsford. But most people, I mean, even like the greatest of all time, Ronnie Coleman, he was like the greatest amateur, and then he was like last place at the Olympia, and then he climbed back up the ladder to be the greatest ever. So that's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah, when he says I got to start all over again, I'm thinking, well, so in other words, what you're telling me is you're going to have to put in more work, and you don't want to do it.
You're going to just have to keep bodybuilding.
It's like if you already love it and you have a passion for it, like what's the problem? It's just like you have the physique you have, whether you're the best in the amateurs or you're the worst or whatever in the pros.
Yeah.
It's just like you are at this, that's just the level you are at, and you just keep doing the same thing, keep improving.
Basically it just has to be like a lifestyle. Like I didn't compete for 8 years. I wasn't just trying to like race back to the stage. I was just like living and bodybuilding and doing everything. But I like off-season bodybuilding more than anything. I mean, like the prep is like, probably being on the stage is my least favorite because like I don't really love like the posing part, but I do love the training and the nutrition and the hard work part. But being on
that
stage,
was also my
part is my least favorite.
Yeah, my favorite part was also always like just the lifestyle, the training, seeing the progress in prep, like getting up every morning and be like, wow, there's an illustration,
Yeah. So
like
for him
seeing the fruits of the labor.
For him to say like, oh, I got to start over. Like, what do you mean start over? You've been bodybuilding for 10 years. Are you just going to like, what else would you do? You know?
Yeah, like stop playing table tennis or golf.
Yeah.
No, I can translate that for you, knowing him. In other words, I have to keep dieting.
Oh, well, I mean, if you don't like dieting, that's fine. Just be an off-season you don't have to be competitive bodybuilder. You don't even have to be a bodybuilder. Like if you like bodybuilding and training, then it kind of is just part of that. Also, there's a thing, like I get people, I think I actually even mentioned it to Charlie, like these people get like, you know, blown up in the off season. They get like 20% body fat. And I'm like, if you want to be like a bodybuilder, and really if you want to bodybuild healthy, you need to stay within like kind of striking distance of competing within 10 weeks. Like you need to be at like a 10-week out physique. Like that's just where you live at. And if you start getting fat, you need to pull back the food and up the cardio and do the things to like stay at that. Because if you don't have like abs, if you're just like 300 pounds and you got like, you know, 20% body fat, you're just cruising down an unhealthy obesity path. It's not, you're not like, you know, doing whatever you're doing. You're just trying to get gigantic.
Yeah.
You know, I've told a couple people this recently. Like one the Masters guy I told you about, he's like got fat. He's trying to bulk up. And I'm like, you're just gonna have to diet all that shit back off. It's not gonna help you, like getting that out of shape. But he's got in his head that he's somehow gonna put on 25 pounds of muscle. And I'm like, it doesn't matter how much you eat.
How old is he?
He's 45 years old.
Yeah, people come to me and they say that, and I say, if you wanted to be, you know, Phil Heath, you should have started when you were 22. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not in the cards for you to be my size, because I've been bodybuilding since I was that age, you know, and I have like better genetics than you. So like, if you're trying to get there between now and 46, like, there's no,
I mean,
there's no level of drugs,
anyone
level of food or training that you can do to get to,
and no drug protocol or nothing.
You can't get to, what's that?
I mean, anyone can improve. It's just like you grow the best when you're younger.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, it's not only that, but it takes a certain amount of time to put on muscle.
Contractile tissue doesn't really grow that fast. I mean, like if you're putting on 8 pounds per year, 10 pounds per year, you're growing at like an extremely fast rate. You know, like by the time you're 210, if you get from 210 to 220 at the same condition 1 year later, you put on a lot of muscle. But like somebody doesn't want to look at that. Like they think only 10 pounds, like, you know, they can drink a gallon of water and be up 10 pounds. So they're like, oh, that's not very much. But like it just takes and then the way to get big is just to stack year after year, making that like slow, steady progress. 5 pounds, 8 pounds per year. Put that over 10 years, you're, you know, 45, 50 pounds up.
You know, by the time I was 20 years old, I was 235 pounds, fairly lean. But I started when I was 12. And I wasn't playing around. So I had 8 years of training hard. I was only 20, but I still had 8 years of hard training. And those were my prime growing years. I think I put on like most of my size during that time.
Yeah.
I went from like 110 pounds at 12 years old to like 230 pounds.
One of the biggest things that people kind of like, obviously, when you're younger, everything's going to just be working better. Your connective tissue, your body's still growing. So you're probably still releasing like way more growth hormone stuff. But one of the biggest things that people overlook when they start to get to be 35, 40, 45, and they want to put on size, your GI tract just cannot handle the amount of food that you have to push to really put on, like I said, 10 pounds per year of quality contractile tissue. Like you got to be eating a considerable amount of like food and digesting it correctly and not getting, you know, flare-ups and diarrhea and acid reflux and all that stuff.
When I was a teenager, my training partners were like several years older than me, and they were really big bodybuilders. And we used to go after training. We'd go to either the Swedish it was what do you call buffet, or there was another place. It was like where they cook the food in front of you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the
like a Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah, Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah,
and it was both of them were all you could eat, and we would literally go in there after training, and we just eat for like 3 hours. Eat. And then I could do that at that age. I could just freaking eat like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat that. And there was no insulin. We weren't using any insulin or growth hormone, but I could still do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I could put on size doing it.
Another thing that like people do is they'll try to get on this like crazy cycle. Like I have a client, he's a past client. He didn't want to work in the off season, but he did diet down. He got to like 190, 195, 196. He'll still like send me like, you know, not check-ins, but like, hey, how am I looking kind of thing. And he was up to like 255 from December until now. And I texted him back and I said, how much contractile tissue do you think you put on? Like you put on 55 pounds. How much do you think is like actual muscle? Like, what are you doing? Like, what if we dieted you down right now? What would your stage weight be? Like 4 pounds up? And all you're doing is like your fucking lipids are dog shit. Your blood pressure is dog shit. You know, like you're bloated. Like your skin looks terrible. Like, what are you doing, man? I mean, like, I get it. You're trying to like race to be the
probably
biggest.
Also dirty bulking.
Yeah, and I tell him like, yeah, you gained, you know, X amount of weight, but like you gained maybe 5 pounds of contractile tissue, and you gained 40 pounds of side effects of just fat and water by doing this, like, you know, crazy insulin and GH and you know
could have been done a better way,
and you know all this whatever crazy cycle. So,
you know, years and years ago, I was going to compete in nationals, and I needed to do a national qualifier just to do a show to be able to go in it. And it was like 2 weeks before nationals. So I was looking all over the country, and there was 2 shows. There was the Mike Francois Classic in Columbus, Ohio, and there was another show in Florida somewhere. I think it was Miami. And I had to just do a show to go to the nationals. So I based my decision on which was a cheaper plane ticket. And Columbus, Ohio was a cheaper plane ticket than going to Florida. So I bought the plane ticket to go there. And so I traveled there just to compete, just to qualify. And I remember I competed there around between 215 and 220. And I had started my diet at like 230. And there was a guy that I knew. He was like over 300 pounds in the off season. And he looked like, you know, I couldn't tell how fat he was because he was enclosed, but he just looked big. And he looked, you know, pretty solid at 300 pounds. But I get to the Mike Francois Classic and we're backstage and I'm competing in the heavyweight at around between 215 and 220. And he's also competing in the heavyweight between 215. He weighed somewhere under 225. And he had like this loose skin hanging all over himself. He dieted down from over 300 pounds to like 220, and he still didn't look good. He still didn't look like he was in shape. He had like loose skin hanging all over it, and he didn't look in shape.
Well,
and
that's another problem. If you just lose too much weight, like your skin needs time to tighten up, and if you don't have that time, like skin can take time to tighten up.
Yeah, but he still didn't look conditioned. He lost like 70 freaking pounds. So I mean, he must have been just carrying 70 pounds of fat on him.
Water, yeah.
And I lost like 15 pounds maybe. And even when I told you we were going to the Swedish Inn barbecue, like my metabolism, even eating all that food, I just never got fat. My metabolism was just too fast.
Yeah. I mean,
I put on size, but I never really got fat.
When you're young, you can push pretty hard like that. But we were talking about like middle-aged guys thinking that they want to become a bodybuilder late in life, and it's just not. You can get great for you, but it's not realistic for most people to change themselves like into looking like, fucking Big Rammy when they're 40, 45. You should have started when you were 20 if you wanted to look like Big Rammy.
Yeah.
Should we grab some questions? We are closing in on 2 hours. It's getting late over here.
Yeah. Somebody posted some. I told him to repost it because I didn't see him. Oh, here we go. Scooby-Doo Trend was doing 500 tests, 600 EQ. 4 weeks later, was feeling flat. Do you think EQ crashed my estrogen or made it low?
Repeat that again.
He was doing 500 milligrams of testosterone, 600 milligrams of equipoise per week for 4 weeks. 4 weeks later, he feels weak and flat. Do you think the EQ crashed my estrogen or made it low?
I mean,
there's so many other factors. Usually guys.
Did he eat enough? Is also
that was kind of one of my first thoughts. For years, decades, guys have bulked on test and EQ, and I think it displaces some of the testosterone, the aromatase. I don't know if I've heard that it does have like an aromatase blocking pathway, but I'm not like up on the chemistry on that. But I don't know.
I can tell you this. It does not. It's not an anti-estrogen. EQ is not an anti-estrogen. It doesn't block aromatase. It just doesn't aromatize itself. Mm-hmm. So if you're putting in a bunch of EQ, you have an anabolic that's not aromatizing. So there's just a higher percentage of anabolic in there that's not aromatizing, but it's not going to crash your estrogen. That's just a bullshit statement. It's just that his testosterone was low compared to the EQ. But even still, like him being flat has something to do, like you said, with his training and diet more than what he was taking.
I think that it does displace some of your estradiol, so you might have lower water retention. You might have like some
because you have a lower anabolic that doesn't aromatize. So therefore, you're not going to hold as much water as if you were on like more tests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you're on.
I would also personally have like a higher test and a lower EQ.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but he had a higher EQ, but I still don't think that that made him flat.
Mm-hmm.
I would think it's a glycogen issue.
Yeah, there's something going on with his.
He said he was getting weak. He feels weak and flat. There could be so many, different.
Here, I just figured out. I tell you what it is. You know what it is?
What?
Fake gear.
That's what I was thinking as well. It could be. It could be underdosed. You might be taking half what you think you're taking or less.
Yeah, and fake, or probably there's so much fake shit now because it's really just hard to get the real stuff.
Somebody asking about raw materials, if they're rumored, they're pretty much low. That's what we keep hearing on the internet. So it's hard to find stuff, which what Larry just alluded to. So yeah, I'm not really sure on what the status is of getting underground gear at this point.
I can tell you what it is. If you get something real, it's the odds of you getting something real right now is slim to none.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Is it that bad?
Yeah, China's not making it. They're not making it. So anything you get, it's either coming from India, and that stuff is questionable, or it's fake. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a shortage of testosterone and anthate in the whole world right now.
Yeah, I saw a vigorous
There's no source for real testosterone and anthate, except possibly from India. Yeah, it's
Damn.
just what any gear that's real at this point is left over from before. Anything new being produced, the odds of it being real are not very good.
So he
because
did
China's not making it.
He did a follow up.
Is that the raw products they can't get from China? Is that it?
They shut down the factories there. They shut down all the factories in China.
Yeah.
So
he did a follow up comment. He said anabolic bodybuilding Dave guy has made like 5 videos saying EQ can crash estrogen, and my diet is 98% clean, 6 foot tall, 230 tons of carbs. I mean, that means you're doing like 1 cheat meal a month if you're 98% clean. One meal and by cheat meal, I mean you're not under eating any meals, you're not skipping a single meal, you're not whatever. I find that a little hard to believe. Yeah, I think EQ can lower your estradiol for the reasons we said. I think it displaces testosterone, the ability for testosterone to aromatize. So you're getting lower E2, so you would be getting like less maybe downstream. And if you're not a high aromatizer anyways, you might have a low estrogen. But I find it more likely that what Larry probably said is maybe that your EQ is either like underdosed or your testosterone's underdosed, and maybe you're taking maybe the EQ is real and you're only taking EQ. Like, I don't know if your testosterone's not, if it's like testosterone anthate and you're just taking equipoise, that could be like an issue as well, because then you have no aromatization happening. You're just taking 600 milligrams of equipoise per week, and you see what I'm saying on that one.
Fake testosterone.
Yeah.
Which is a thing right now, by the way.
I mean, which I've heard both ways. I've heard EQ, but I would think if you're taking like 500 milligrams of testosterone and the EQ is fake, you would feel pretty good still. But if you're taking fake testosterone and only 600 milligrams of EQ, you might feel pretty like crashed out on your
yeah. But you know what? Back in the 80s, people just took an anabolic. They didn't even use testosterone, and they didn't have any of those issues.
That was like my first couple cycles. I did like DECA only and Trenbolone only.
When I trained with Mike Menser, all we did was MPP, 300 milligrams 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And we got fucking huge doing that.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know. I feel like people might be like over like scaring themselves, over-anxieting themselves about, because like if you're putting in any steroids, like androgens, like I've known tons of guys that to just like, they don't want to run any injectables, so they just run like 50 milligrams a day of Anavar, and they get
Here, I'll give you an example. That girl that we just talked about last week, what's her name? The short girl that just did women's physique.
Sarah.
She told her cycle, and I believe she told the truth. All she takes is Primabol and an Anavar, and she's freaking jacked. She's not taking any testosterone. She's just Primabol and an Anavar. That's it.
Yeah, so there's just having some androgens in there is going to have, I mean, like, yeah, you might have like effects.
I mean, they do also say that you don't find Primo anymore. Like all Primo is test. Like they say, like finding real Primo is like.
Well, she says she's got her stuff tested from a lab, and she knows
there's real stuff still out there. It's just like getting more slim and hard to find for sure.
No, I have real Primo, because when all this shit started, I stocked up on a bunch of it. So I've got like 30 bottles, but it's from 2 years ago.
I gotta call you, Larry.
Yeah, you better use it before the oil goes rancid.
Yeah.
Nah, that stuff will stay good for 10 years.
I don't know. Oil goes rancid. The oil can go rancid and stuff. That's how oil works.
There was also somebody who had a question about Sarah. Like now the Toronto is coming up this weekend, and she's actually in it. So there's been a lot of like talk back and forth if that's still like a physique look, because she really looked like to me she looked like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
It's a completely different look than if you look at Sarah or Natalia at the Olympia. It's just, she just looks so dense to me, like really Also, many of the physique girls, they don't really have big arms. You know, like they have like the taper, the legs, the shape.
Yeah.
But she just has these really big arms, big shoulders, big back, big legs, big everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I read something earlier on female bodybuilding channel, whereas like a judge had said, let me see, had said she had the perfect look or something.
I
I
feel
want to
like
look up who said that.
she looks insane, but I don't know. I don't think I think she only fits into like bodybuilding because like how extreme she is. Like
Well,
if you put that at the top of the sport and you gave that the win, and girls started trying to chase that, like man, you would really fuck up a lot of girls.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Her and what's the other girl's name? The other big one that's shredded?
Paula.
Paula. So both these girls, their videos have gone viral. So even though they don't fit the criteria, quote, the criteria of physique, they're the thing that's making physique popular. People love the way they look. Even though it like it
I think it's divided. Like some people hate
it.
They
some
like
it.
Some people like the more like classical physique look, like you could say like Sarah and Natalia has, and then others like more like just more massive, more
but
like
those
especially
two girls have got brought.
Yeah, but I feel like
attention.
those are different classes. If you're giving more massive, harder look, that girl should go to bodybuilding. Not
those two girls have brought more attention to that division than anybody else.
Yeah, because they're so crazy shredded, and because they're really getting bigger in the WPD. So it's like it's just we're having this conversation about like where is it going to end? You know, aren't they bodybuilders? Are they bodybuilders or are they not bodybuilders? You know, like is it just going to be one division, or like what's actually what's the cut? You know, last time me and Larry had a discussion that maybe we should do like a height and weight category in women's physique, because it's like
they just need to not reward that for women's physique.
But they are. I mean, they just rewarded Sarah
and
Paula, and they're like the most shredded women I have seen in a long time. You know, plus the size. It's just like
I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're ruining the women's physique division. Like they need to.
They are ruining that look, in my opinion. The look
should be. It's just like a men's classic physique look. Like it's a different look than open bodybuilding. If you want harder, shredded, bigger,
denser
bodybuilding. If you want statuesque, maybe not quite. I mean, they get pretty hard in classic, which I feel like it's almost like pushing the envelope for them, but they tone them down on the size, you know, considerably. So I think that you just need to reward or tell them, look, you don't like, I don't fit into men's physique class. Like, that's just like, you can just say that, like, it's fine. If I went there,
what's happening
reward me if I did a men's physique show. So that then obviously they'll tell me, oh, you're open bodybuilding.
But in reality, they're rewarding them.
It's gliding over. Women's physique is gliding over to the women's bodybuilding look. It is.
But the thing that's hard is like they may not want to reward that, but say it's a show and she is like the women's physique really usually doesn't have a whole lot of competitors. So say there's like 5 competitors and none of them are like in shape at all except for her. Obviously you just have to let her win because she's like the best, but like they need to tell her afterward, like maybe be like, hey, like we let you win because you're the best at this, but you don't fit this class. You should be in body.
You should cross over.
But that wasn't the situation with when she won her show. There was another girl in there that fit the criteria of
perfectly
physique. And she had poor judging, shape and everything, but she still beat her.
That's just poor judging, to be honest. They're not following what the IFBB probably hands down.
I mean, if you read the rules, the IFBB rules for women's physique, it says that there should not be like deep cuts and like a lot of density and feathering and stuff, like really like.
Yeah.
Well, they just threw they just threw those rules out the window because these girls are more shredded than any guys.
I mean, they're more shredded than most of the female bodybuilders.
It doesn't send a good message to the other competitors in that division.
They have striations everywhere. Glutes,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
quads,
Like, if I was competing in women's physique, I would look towards the winners. How are they looking?
Yeah,
like,
that's what they do.
How do I need to look like to win?
Yep.
And I know of women's physique athletes already now who's like, oh, you know, it's like, I don't think I can match up, you know, like I don't want to get that big, or I'm not that big, and I can't compete with those girls.
Hey, I gotta hop off. I got a client in like 15 minutes, so I'll talk.
All right,
to you.
we've gone long enough. Let's wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments for future episodes. I've got Dorian Haywood coming on tomorrow afternoon at 2:00, so stay tuned for that. And we will see you guys next time.
Yep. Peace out.
I believe that the fires were cast upon, on the flames we shall become. I believe in a common calling where our temples pray.